Hello everyone, Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Welcome to Tuesday Night Lights. Hope everyone is having a fabulous week. I am really excited to show you some new products tonight. Let's see if I can just straighten this up a bit. There we go, we're a bit straighter now. Okay, sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. It took me longer to type than I thought it would. Let's see who is watching. If you're watching, make sure you say hello. The comments will be delayed, but that's okay. I want to share with you some stuff from the new annual catalogue. I've got little post-it notes everywhere. It's been really cold here today. Oh, hi Jodie. Hope you're not freezing down there in South Australia. I can tell you today's been like a wind tunnel here. The wind whistled up beside our house and round the back and down the other side because it comes across the park, and it's so windy today, and it's raining and it's just awful. Oh, it is cold. Oh no, Jodie. I know what Adelaide cold is like. It's awful. All right. So I've got some new products to show you today, and I'm really excited about this. I'm going to show you. It's on page 133 of the new catalogue. Yes, it was very cold last year when I was there. Not coming that far south this year. Yes. This is acetate that's been printed. So there's 3 acetate sheets in a pack, and they're 12 by 12. And they are foiled with gold. So that's one of the things I'm showing you today. And who else has we got watching? I'm not sure. They're remaining anonymous. The other thing that we're going to show, we're going to be working on is I didn't mark it off. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, you haven't seen that yet? Oh. Is the Wanted to Say dies. Now, these are on page 167 of the catalogue. They are standalone dies. They don't necessarily coordinate with a stamp set. They are just fabulous fabulous dies. Hi Nora, thank you for watching. Oh, I hope you're not cold too. I'm freezing, my little feet are freezing. But before we get started, I need to do a little lucky prize draw. So this is all the people who are on my Creative Eclectic Facebook group. We did a challenge in April, and the challenge was anything goes. So they could make anything they liked as long as it included at least one Stampin' Up product. So sorry about the crinkly noises. And they just had to share it on the Facebook page, Facebook group, and they went in the draw to win. Now, this is a retired stamp set, but it is a great stamp set. the Inspired Thoughts stamp set. Hi Vicky, congratulations on your graduation. And you're probably freezing too. Oh, you've probably got the aircon on. So this is a really great set. It's sort of an all-rounder set, and yeah, it hasn't been used. So, oh, hi Glenda S, lovely to see you. So we're just doing the prize draw for our Facebook group challenge. So let's see. So we had, as you can see, we had lots of entries. Oh, you're just all rugged up. I was just wondering why my feet are cold and I don't have socks on. But anyway, I can fix that. All right, let's draw out a name. All right. So this winner is, oh hi Glenda L. This winner of this stamp set is Carol, and that's Carol Lawrence. So Carol, you have won the Inspired Thoughts stamp set. Now it is retired, but it's a great set, and you can use it. It's got a sympathy saying, and it's got a Christmas saying, and a thinking of you, and congratulations. So it's a great little set. So that is coming to you very soon. So congratulations. So I think that we might just have the same theme this month of anything goes. I think that that worked really well. All right, so yeah, we're going to use this Gold Celebrations acetate, and we're also going to use, as I said, the Wanted to Say dies. And so let's have a look firstly at the dies. I'm going to use a couple of other things that you may have missed in the catalogue also, but so this is the dies. So each die, so it's got a happy birthday, a celebrate, oh they're a bit out of order, a that's you're so kind, or you're too kind, and it's got a feel better soon. And it's also got these other little elements, like there's a present and a ribbon and some stars and some hearts and a flower. But we're concentrating on the words today. All right. So we're going to use, for this first project, the Celebrate one. I have made a sample one. Oh, hi Hunter. Oh, got two late bedtimes. Or not quite. It's not bedtime yet, is it? No. Oh. So this is called the Wanted to Say. Now it's a standalone die. Okay. So, all right. So the first thing that we're using, and this is also in the annual catalogue, is these adhesive sheets. Now these are 6x12 sheets, and these are perfect for working with acetate because you don't want to get glue all over the acetate. So you'll find these on page 153 of the catalogue, and you get 12 sheets, 12 6x12 sheets in a pack, and you just cut them down. And the other thing we're using, is adhesive foam sheets, and these are 100 on page 138 of the catalogue, and these are double-sided adhesive foam. So this makes your project pop, okay? And they could be die cut. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to work with some Lost Lagoon, and I've got some Pretty Peacock. So Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock are both new, well not new, but returning core colours. And then I've got some Pool Party, and I've got this is one of the acetate sheets that I've cut down. Now you'll see it's got little, well, it's got a little smudge of adhesive on it. I must have had it on my fingers, but that's going to be covered up, so that's okay. So it's got gold foiling on it, and this is, I've cut it to 4 inches by 6.5 inches. And my 2 pieces of Lost Lagoon, this makes your card base, and they are 4 inches by 5 3/4. Okay. And what we're going to do, you'll also have a white piece as well. What we're going to do is we're going to score the acetate sheet. Now it takes a bit of scoring. I've got my very grubby whatchamacallit, what is this thing called? It's called a what is it? Trimmer, paper trimmer. Oh goodness me. Had a blonde moment. Goodness. Okay, so I'm just using my scoring blade, and I'm scoring it so that it is that's going to be 5 3/4 long, okay? Just actually one little notch over 5 3/4. And I'm going to score away, do it quite a few times, and then I'm going to turn it over and score some more. Okay, because you can barely see the score line. And this is where you'll definitely need your bone folder. And I don't know, see how faint that score line is. Now the acetate isn't the easiest thing to score and fold. All right, I'll just move that out of the way. I'm going to just take it off camera because I don't want you to see the top of my head while I try and fold it. And it's going to be, what do you call it? Facetious, and not let me do it. Oh, goodness me. See, I told you, it doesn't like to play. It's not playing well. The other one worked so easily. Anyway. Let's go right. Okay, so you've got this folded flap, right? So I'm going to show you 2 different projects with this acetate. So first thing you want to do is on one of these pieces here, you're going to get some tearing tape. Now, I don't like to use glue with acetate because it smudges and you get all smudgy, yucky bits. And it's pretty ordinary to try and get off. Now, this is just the tearing tape. If you've got that old-fashioned sticky strip, use that. Use any tape, but just don't use liquid glue. Right, so just pull that off. And so I've got a bit of sticky bit on there, and I've got a sticky bit on this piece of Lost Lagoon. I keep going to call it Tranquil Tide. Okay. So has everyone had a good week so far? Other than it being dreadfully cold. Has Hunter had a good week, Vicky? Yes, Tranquil Tide was darker. Maybe it was wishful thinking that I wanted Tranquil Tide to come back. Now, you probably will need to trim your card. So I've popped this on, and you're pushing the Lost Lagoon right up to that fold line, and you want it to be as square as possible. Now, you probably will, as I said, will need to trim it, because even though you measure it and you cut it, sometimes when you fold it, or when it if you cut it, it might cut slightly differently. So I'm just going to run that bone folder over. Okay. Everyone's very, very quiet, and Hunter has been, his has been good. Oh, great. Yeah. So, and then, so that we don't see this bit, I'm putting a bit more tear and tape on it. And tear and tape at the bottom. Now, you could use Seal Plus. I wouldn't just use ordinary seal because it's not quite as strong. Okay. And you need it to be a bit strong. And when you finish this, you actually need, I found, because the acetate doesn't score particularly well, I found I needed to put a book on my project, a heavy book, or my die cutting machine or something like that on your project, just to encourage the crease to stay where it's supposed to, okay? So for all you mums out there, did you have a lovely Mother's Day? I had a lovely time with my mum on Sunday. I went to visit her, and we took her lunch, and then my eldest sister's children, two of her children, turned up, and while Mum and I were icing cupcakes. And oh, it's not winter yet. There's so much illness around. Oh. Yes, you could adhere at crooked too. That's another thing that I do often, Vicky. I do adhere at crooked. I am a shocker. Absolute shocker. So you might need to trim it, but you might not. See, I do need to trim it. But that's something I can do later. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just put this, so this is the base of our card, see? Okay, and it's covered up that icky bit, and as you can see, I'm going to have to do some trimming afterwards, but we will. It was lovely seeing your kids. That's great, Jodie. And you had an awesome day too, Vicky. That's really good. You got spoiled. Yeah. I got spoiled though, because today I registered for Backstage, the Stamping Up Leaders event in Las Vegas. So that was pretty cool. And I am so excited. Oh, it's not till August, but, and my sister-in-law, who lives in New Hampshire, is going to come and meet me before the Las Vegas event. Yes, I know, Jodie. Shani told me she'd registered. Well, she told me she'd booked her flights. I didn't know that she'd registered, but yes. Oh, and yes, and Vicky's going to, and I think my friend Vicky in New Zealand is going as well. So, and my friend Anne is going. So it's all very exciting. So this is the inside of our card. So we've got our little bit of white in there. Okay, so that gives you somewhere to write on. Now let's get started with our die cutting. I am going to do, now there's a couple of ways that you can do this. I'm doing this one way, and I have got a sample to show you when this of a different way to do this. I think you can, well, there's probably endless ways to do it. Just to hide where the acetate is joined, Vicky. Yep, so it's a no stamp card. I like these. So with this adhesive sheet, you just peel off the backing, right? So it's just like a sticker, right? Peeling off the backing. I'm popping it on here. Now, I'm going to try and get, so this is the outline image, right? So it's like a shadow image. Okay, so I'm going to put this one through. I'm cutting two of these, but I'm cutting them two different ways. So the first one, the die will be on the top of the cardstock, okay? And you'll see there's a method to my madness when we put it together. Okay, I'll just do the first one. I'm going to do it at an angle because then I can get two out of it. Sorry, I'll move it up a bit. Oops. Oh, it does help when you put it through nice and straight. Okay. So this is the first one of my outline backgrounds. You see, it's just like a embossy thing. All right. The next one, which is also, I'm going to do the outline again, but I'm turning my cardstock over and I'm having the sticker on the top. Now, the reason I'm doing this is when I stick it together, I am sticking the die cuts to the acetate, and I don't want any messy glue showing, okay? And I didn't quite cut that right, but it's all right. I was too far gone to fix it. So it's missing a little bit, but that's putting back. So on the, and this piece will be on the inside of the card. Okay. Oh, thanks, Vicky. I'm full of good ideas. All right. So, and as I said, this way, when you do it like this, you don't get glue all over your project. Now this one here, I'm just cutting my piece. I'm hoping that's not too wide. So, and I've got enough for my next project. I should have die cut the next project first, but anyway. All right. So I'm just peeling off the backing, popping it on my pool party. So I have to admit I haven't used this colour combination before, so fingers crossed it works. Should do. So make sure when you're putting your dye on that you have it over top of your sticky piece. Oh, sorry, adhesive sheet. Sticky piece, that's the technical name for it, isn't it? Yeah, Vicky, I don't know that you could focus just on one thing. You are always multitasking. Who else has joined us? Is someone else? Oh. All right, so this one, when it cuts out the word properly. So we need our little, take our pick tool and see how the dye's got little holes in it. You just press in those little holes with your take your pick tool and it all comes out, right? And you can just press these. All right. Now, as I said, this is a no stamp card, and if there's any little bits left in the die, just press them out as well. Preferably do it over the bin, not over your desk, but sometimes they're a bit stubborn, but yeah, we've got them. All right, so just move our die cutting machine out of the way. Bring our thing back in. And you know, I made a mistake. I was going to cut that out with the foam. That might mean my my next project can't use the foam, so I might have to recut that one. So we've got our first piece, and I'm going to put it about there because I don't want to cover that pattern, because the pattern on each side of the 12 by 12, the pattern is more at the edges. I'm going to turn this one over and see how I've got this. It's on the front. I'm going to line it up. Oh, good night, Hunter. No problem, Vicky. Okay. Now, hopefully you're not seeing the top of my head. We're lining those two up. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. So you can't see that glue there. Okay. I'm going to go back and grab. I'll keep this for another occasion. I'm going to grab my foam. All right. And we'll see if it works with such a thin die. It should. Let's move these little bits off out of my way. And see, it doesn't matter when you're using this if you don't get it right to the very end. It's not going to break it. Okay. Bring this back over here. We've got a piece of foam. Grab our scissors. We just want to have enough one of the easiest ways to do it is just grab your dye and just put it over so that, and just cut sort of around it, leaving a little bit of an edge. So then you know you've got enough, okay? Now, if this doesn't work, if it looks really yucky, we've got the other as backup, don't we? All right. Because, you know, I don't do a trial run before I do these things. Actually, that's not quite true. I've used this foam a lot, just not with these dyes. All right, so I've lined it up over top of that. So we've got our number 1 plate, our number 2 plate, and they're staggered at the end. Our paper with the dye on it. And then our other plate that's staggered. Let's push this through. Now it might not like the foam because it's quite thick, but it will go through. Oh, I didn't even make a noise. How good's that? This will be interesting. Yeah, I know, Glenda. I'm winging it again. They might have to call me the winger. I don't know. So, when it cuts out, ooh, I didn't quite have it in the perfect spot, but it's pretty good. And it does come out. Just have to push it. It may be best to put it through twice, but let's just see. It does work, trust me. It works better on bigger dies. So what we might need to do is start pressing those bits out we don't need. Pull them away really gently. It's hard when it's not, when you're not sitting directly over it. Let's get the whole thing out of here. So it's a little bit of work, but you know, with a little bit of effort comes great reward. Okay. Now, you've just got to be gentle with it because it's a thin dye and it's being a bit facetious. Well, that's a big word for it. This is my word of the day, actually. The dog was being facetious. My husband was being facetious. And you just got to try not to wreck it. Actually, no, my husband was being contrary today. Oh, here it comes. Now, it's the backing's coming off it as I'm pulling it gently. I've just got to work out the right way to pull it. That sounds wrong, but anyway, it's all good. Okay, so you would have given up by now. Yeah, if I was doing it for me, I probably would have. No. See, it's working. So we know the lesson here is don't use it with the foam with intricate dyes. Use it with more blocky dyes. Okay. So, oh God, stuck to me. All right, so we've got our C. It's just going to take a little bit to put on because we don't want those G. This is a bit fiddly. So it's great for really, the foam is actually really great for really big, blocky words. Let's see, L-E. What you can do with these is you could layer, like cut the Celebrate 5 or 6 times and layer them all together, and that gives more height as well. Oh, it's stuck to my fingernails. We'll get there soon, guys. Nearly there. That little bee doesn't want to come out. Just talk amongst yourselves, yeah. While I get it off my fingernails and off the other letters next to it. All right. Gee, they're finicky, aren't they? Keep sticking to my fingernails. Oh, I meant to bring up the project that I was going to show you last week and I didn't, and it's still downstairs. I have to bring it up and photograph it. So, okay, so we've learnt our lesson here. Don't do it with intricate dies because it doesn't like them. We're nearly there though. We've got 3 letters to go. We can do this. Now, you've got to be careful that you don't wreck the letters as well by pulling them too far out the wrong way, or that's why sometimes you just stick to the basics, see? And it's really, really sticky. Has anyone used this foam before? Because I'm really not giving you the best introduction to it. Oh dear. But I really do love it. I do think it's a really great invention. All right, our R looks a bit wonky. All right, let's fix that R up because it tore a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's got a bit of stuff where it shouldn't do. Not sure what happened to that C. All right. So, we've got our Celebrate on. It does look a little bit wonky because I had to manipulate it so much. So we're going to put a bit of ribbon on this. All right, I'm just going to put the ribbon underneath the acetate. Now this is the new Lost Lagoon ribbon, and it's a bordered ribbon. Now, I didn't bring my little glue dots upstairs to put a knot under it, but I thought this was a nice masculine sort of card. Oh, I do have a glue dot. Now, I mean, as you know, when you every time I tie a bow like this, I'll put a little knot under where a little glue dot under where I want my knot, and that just holds it in place, because I'm not an octopus, I don't have enough hands and fingers to hold it where I want it to go. Okay, I'm just going to put that there, and now I'm just tying a little knot. I'm not doing a bow. I don't know that this ribbon, it's fairly soft, but I don't know how a bow would go, so it's a nice ribbon though. It's really, it's almost like, it feels not a denim, but my guide leader would be upset with that knot. It's not a denim, but it's something like that. More like a linen-y type of ribbon. And I'm just going to put another glue dot, because I must have twisted it as I tied it, just to hold it in place. So it's not looking too bad, and we need a little bit of bling, right? Well, you're loving how that's turning out. It took me forever. So we've got here, these are the tinsel gems, the 3-pack. So there's a 3-pack and a 4-pack in the catalogue, right? Well, I thought that might be pretty peacock, but it's not really. But let's just go with that. It sort of blends. Actually, I don't think, because it's got ribbon, I don't think it needs any bling. So I'm going to not put bling on this one. All right. That was a quick story, Vicky. You must have sped red to him. All right. So that's that one, and I did one earlier with the another acetate from, oh hi Kerry, from the same pack, and this acetate's got like what are those, streamers on it. And so what I did, instead of putting 2 layers of acetate, a layer of the stuff on the front and on the back, I just stuck it to the back, and I did use a bit of strip of glue. But I think that this way, if you get it to cut properly, is much better. So this one I used Blueberry Bushel, Berry Burst, and Pretty Peacock. So we've got one more card using the acetate. So as I said, there's 3 different acetates in the pack. We're going to use the last one here, and I'm going to use the Feel Better Soon one, and we're going to do this in a different way. Oops, I better put them in the right spot. So as I said, it's got flowers, and it's got presents and hearts, and I'm going to use the hearts. All right. And this one's a little bit different. So I've got a piece of thick white cardstock, and I've just cut it to its 4 inches wide, and I scored it at 5 3/4, and then this piece here is another 1.5 inches. Okay, I've also got a strip of white, and I've got this piece of acetate, and it is we're going to cut it down a little tiny bit. We just want it under 5 3/4 inches, just under, and it's 4 inches wide. See, and so when I cut these, even though I cut them on the same trimmer, there's a difference in the width. Who knows how I managed to do that? All right, I've got some Berry Burst and Blueberry Bushel, so they're both returning colours, and then part of the new core collection. And so this time we're using the adhesive sheets. Now I've got lots of these adhesive sheets cut up. I just it's actually got little, in certain spots on it, it's got little join marks, but I cut it in the wrong place, so you just have to bear with me while I pull the backing off. And so the backing, yeah, so that's the backing side. It's less textured, I think. We're going to pop that behind the pink one, Berry Burst. I'm going to cut that first. And I'm doing, this will be on the top. Now this card I'm making it actually for a friend who unexpectedly went into hospital today. So hopefully she'll be home tomorrow, but we'll see. And she loves pink and blue. Alright, so we're just gonna pop those through. I've popped the little hearts on there as well, so that they get die cut and they get their they get their bits. See, all right, I'll die cut the other one next, and then we'll go through and take them out of the dies. So this is the background piece. I wonder if I can just cut it. I'm going to be a little bit frugal. I'm not worried that I'm not going to have it all over the die, or the die cut, because it's really quite strong, and so you don't actually need to have it all over the back, just mostly over it. It doesn't have to cover it 100%. All right, let's see what the comments are. Yes, on stage in Vegas is a couple of days. Oh, hi Megan. Sorry I didn't see you there. Yeah. Yes, it is a couple of days, Jodie. We're going, luckily we're going a little bit earlier, about a week and a half earlier, I think. And because Steve's got bucket loads of leave, so, and since I saw that movie, The Book Club, I've always wanted to go to Sedona, and it's a day's drive from Las Vegas. So I have been to Sedona once, but I want to go for actually more than just a night. Like I was there last time after the shops shut and nothing was open, so I don't think that counts as going somewhere. Steve thinks it does, but we'll agree to disagree on that one. So, all right. So I'm just going to poke the scraps out of my, poke the bits out of my die. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, Jodie, because I was booked to go to the first one in New Orleans, and then COVID hit, and we lost some of our flights, and luckily we didn't lose any accommodation, but it was also very lucky we didn't go then, because they had 2 hurricanes in New Orleans for the week of the first one was scheduled, so it was maybe just as well. But I'm very excited. I was sad I couldn't go last year, but the flights were just too dear. All right, so we've got our Feel Better Soon. We've got, I'll just cut out these 3 little hearts, and they're all joined together, so that's cute. All right. One thing I'm disappointed about is there is no Berry Burst ribbon in the new catalogue. And the white ribbon that is there wouldn't have gone with this card, so, all right. Yes, that's right, Vicky. That's the only reason we're going. We scored a great deal on flights, and yeah. Oh, you just saw Book Club too on, well, I'm going to see that on Thursday, so no spoilers, people. I'm going to, all right, so we've got some acetate. I'm just going to, first up, we're going to trim a teeny bit. No, I'm not going to trim it off here. I'm going to trim it after I've stuck it together, because I know that I've got to trim. And I'm not worried about this piece having a, you're seeing the tape through this acetate. If I wanted to, what I could do is use a bit of this adhesive sheet on here. It doesn't have to be just for die cutting, all right? Because it's great behind vellum. So if you ever want to stick vellum to something, use use the adhesive sheet behind it. It's awesome. It doesn't show up like glue. Sometimes you get little dots of glue, and all right. So what we're going to do, I know I've been very chatty tonight. All right, So I'm just going to push that right up into the fold and then going to fold that down. Now don't worry about that edge bit because we're going to trim that off, all right? And we're going to trim off that bit at the bottom. So let's do that. Now it might take you a couple of passes to trim the acetate because it's quite thick. All right, so I'm just using my cutting blade, so just back and forth a couple of times. All right, and that's come off, so that's nicely trimmed. Then just going to trim that down, and it takes a couple with the thick cardstock. So there we go. So it's perfect now. It's all nice and flush. All right. What I probably should have done is put a piece of gold ribbon around it. We can do that next. So this one, I'm actually putting my piece inside the card. Now I don't know how this is going to look. Looked good in my head. So I often say that, don't I? I'm pretty good at visualizing things, but so I'm going to pop this here. I was going to put this strip down the bottom, but I'm going to change where I'm going to put that. Okay, I'm still going to use it. No, there isn't not much white ribbon that you can colour, Vicky. Yeah. But there is, on the online extras, there is a gold ribbon. So we're going to see how that goes. There's not, so I'm just got to find the end and be really gentle when you peel this off, okay? Because you don't want to twist it, okay? Be really gentle. I'm hoping I'm still in the camera. Yeah. Yes, it has, Megan. I'm not sure if it's still in the online extras store. I'd have to have a look. Yeah, Berry Burst would be awesome, Vicky. It really would. Even Blueberry Bushel would be awesome. Now, see, there was a bit of a join in the paper, but I'm not even going to worry about taking that off. All right. And see, I think that this just pops. And it's not rocket science, right? So we'll get our little wink of Stella and we'll give it a little bit of sparkle. All right, and the reason I'm putting it on the inside is I wanted to see the dots. So over top of it. You just push it down. Right. We've got our little hearts here. I'll take the backing off that if it decides to come off. Oh. That's the worst part, is getting the backing off when they're quite intricate. But if you haven't invested in these adhesive sheets, definitely invest in them, and invest in the foam too. Like, just because I messed it up doesn't mean that you're going to. Actually, no, we're not going to put that there. And it lifts off. Oh, no, too late now. Oh, I put it up all up too high. Let's see if I can move it down. Well, that didn't go according to plan. Give me 1 second. I'm going to gently lift it all off. I have to pull it out of the camera so I can do that without tearing it. And because it is a little bit forgiving, so you need to be, you do need to be very, very careful. Now, if you had some, what is that stuff? Some dental floss, you could put it behind this and it would run it behind it and it would more easily lift it off. All right, that's a little tip. Dental floss between layers separates them. Let's move it down here. That would work so much better. Let's see if we can get our little hearts up to move them down. I might have stuck them too well, aren't I? And see, it hasn't even ripped the paper or had any residue. I'm going to actually move my hearts down the bottom. I feel more comfortable with that. So when you open it up, you can do that. You can use your heat gun to lift that up, Megan, absolutely. But I do like the dental floss one better. It's just a bit easier because I always am frightened of overheating things. So we've got this piece here. We're going to stick it up here so we can put our ribbon here. It's not exactly the right width. We're going to just trim it off. Hold it firm. Just trim it. Whoops. Trim it with our scissors. I've got a little trim mark there. I'll use so I don't cut it crooked. I'm just going to trim where I made that little mark. There we go. You just throw it in the bin and just try again. Hi Rhoda, thanks for watching. Hope you're feeling better. All right, so I've got this gold and just put a bit of tape on the back of it. As I said, today I'm not using glue because I don't want to get glue on the acetate. I think, now as I said, I hadn't made this before and it looked great in my head. I don't know that it quite translates to how I wanted it to look, but that's quite all right. Everyone learns something in their crafting, don't they? And it'd be boring if I knew everything. Although, so we're just lifting these ends up. Now this gold ribbon is on the online extras, so you can order it through your demonstrator or through me. it's just not in the catalogue. So there's quite a few things that are on that online store that aren't in the catalogue. So it's always good before you put an order in to go and check out what the online extras are. Because I'm sure, like me, if you're like me, you will find something that you really like. Actually find lots of things that you really like. All right, this one's being really stubborn. It doesn't help my fingers aren't working properly today, but we're giving it a good go. Oh. All right, so I'm going to put 3 bits of ribbon. Normally I would just cut them. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I do my first bit. Now this gold ribbon comes in a 2-pack or a duo with some silver, and it's called Gold and Silver 1/8 of an inch trim. Alright, sticking to my fingers again. So I told you my hands weren't working real well today. Alright, so what's everyone got planned for the rest of the week? Anything good? I know I've told you I'm going to the movies and I'm going to help Vicky. Oh, you can't find the money tree, Jodie. Where's my take my pick tool? It's sitting here on the desk, Megan. I used it earlier. I didn't even think of using that. So we've got the 3 layers of ribbon, 3 strips of ribbon. We're just going to pop that on the top and a bit higher, like that. I think that the ribbon actually needs a glue dot or 2 behind it, just to make it stick a bit better. And we'll use our take our pick tool for that. Are you happy now, Megan? Oh dear. On Saturday, I'm going to be at a fete with Vicky at Park Ridge at Hunter's School. So if you are around Saturday and you want to pop into Vicky's stall and say hello to us, we'll have lots of kits there. So feel free to pop in. So I'm not sure that this turned out the way that I expected, but I think it isn't too bad. What I could do is actually die cut another pink Feel Better Soon and put it over the front, but I'm not going to do that now because it's a little bit late. So we've got 2 cards that we made. And one of them went Walkabout. Oh, that's one I made earlier. Wow. And then this one. So we've got our 3 cards. So we've used the dies in 3 different ways. See what I mean about they need to have a little book on them for a little while to just set that acetate in. Yeah. So I always use odd numbers, Vicky. So that's why we have 3. All right. And there's ribbon, but no bling. So thank you, Megan. So I'm just holding them down. Thank you, Glenda. I really hope everyone enjoyed the cards and that you give some consideration to getting that acetate. Now, let me just, and those dies. Those dies are just awesome. Let me just go over again what the dies were, and I can show you an example in the catalogue. So they're the Wanted to Say dies, and they're on page 167, but in the catalogue they've used them on page 35. I've got lots of post-its in here. So see how they've used them with the True Tone Flora stamp set, and then they've used them to create a background. They've just repeatedly die cut them and pasted them down. That's such a good way to use them. It's a bit different, and they've got some vellum behind the Feel Better Soon, but I really like that one. That's such a nice card. All right, and let's just see that acetate. It's part of the yes, I need to seriously sell stuff on my to get everything on my wish list as well, Megan. And yeah, and that's acetate. It's part of the Bright and Beautiful suite, but you can buy it separately. And remember, there's only 3 sheets. So there's dots, there's streamers, and there's, I'd say it's starry confetti, right? So yes, Glenda, that probably wasn't the best use of the foam, but it does work. It does work much better with a thicker die. So if you were using the let's find a die in the back. Let's just flick through a little bit. If you were using a die like the so the reindeer here would work really well with those reindeer from or the Christmas trees, or even the bird. So or those sentiment silhouette dies, they would work well. So yeah, just have a think about how that might work. They would work well with the big die from the Legendary Ride set and the pirate ship. So there's lots of things that they will work with. Oh, the Playing in the Rain thing. So yeah, that's a really great a great product, even though I didn't show you to its best. I might have to do better next week. All right, so hope everyone has a really great evening. And oh, hi Carolyn. You'll have to tell Carol that she won. I will message her, but she won the lucky draw for the challenge. I'm glad you were watching. I didn't see you pop on. Bye everyone, have a great week, and we will see you, see some of you at the Fete hopefully, and I'll see the rest of you next week. Bye for now.